Did Andrew have any kind of relationship with Trump?
Absolutely. I mean, though Trump denies knowing Andrew, I mean, there are plenty of pictures of them at Mar-a-Lago, Andrew showing him around places in London. I've got a story from one of the diplomats in New York consulate with Trump and Andrew swapping lists of masseurs. And
Swapping lists of masseurs?
Yeah, and discussing the P word that begins with Y.
That begins with Y.
No, begins with P and ends with Y.
I see. Yeah, and grabbing them by that perhaps was discussed.
Yeah, I mean, pretty coarse discussions to have in front of a diplomat.
So the diplomat said they've heard them discussing.
He was there. He was with them.
He was with them, and they were discussing swapping masseurs and talking about those kinds of things.
Yeah, and the golf courses in Scotland.
Isn't it mental that I just can't believe that this is what's going on. This is, and he's able to just say, no, I've never met Andrew, I don't know him. And most people just go, oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I've got pictures of them in the book together, and I got a picture of Andrew sweating, and I would have loved to put if we had room, I would have had pictures with some of the people that Sarah mixes with, P. Diddy and others. There seems to be a whole succession of pretty dodgy people who have subsequently been arrested for all sorts of offences that they seem to party with.
So this is really hard for me because I have these chats with Sean Atwood, right? So he was on here recently to talk about the satanic nature of Diddy and all of these kinds of people. And anyway, I see Sean quite regularly, and he's always on about this is satanic and there's all this kind of and I'm of the belief of like, no, I don't think. I don't believe in this kind of underground murky world of these horrible people. I know people will be saying what a naive person I am right now, but fine. Where are you? Because if Fergie was just hanging out with Diddy and then Trump's with Andrew and all these people are together, it does start to look a bit dodgy.
No, I don't think there's anything sinister in that respect. I mean, I think they're just a lot of hangers-on who have a lot of money and they like going on yachts and being entertained and freebies and sensible people wouldn't dream of sort of approaching members of the royal family unless they were very good friends. Whereas these kind of chancers, they're all sort of cafe society, and that's the sort of world that they kind of mix in.
Yeah,
not really much something that adds the dignity of the monarchy, shall we say?
It's a hard one because like if some really rich guy said to me, "I've got this island, come hang out sometime," I'd go because when do I get to be in a 5-star hotel and lovely meals and those kinds of things? And I do. What do you think about Stephen Hawking? He's on that list, right? What was he doing out there?
Well, I think where Epstein was very clever is he gave lots of money to prestigious institutions like Harvard. He was very interested in, for example, AI and some of the work that Hawkins was doing. And so you can see if you want money to help your research projects and you want to raise their profile, then you kind of have to get friendly with someone like Epstein. But that doesn't mean, and maybe you've just got to, there's a trade-off there that you have to make. But I think members of the royal family, like Andrew and Sarah, who've got plenty of money and clearly, you would think would have reputations to maintain, would be very careful, and people would warn them about mixing with some of these people. But they just love mixing with, frankly, trash.
Yeah. There are rumours about Stephen Hawking having a sort of strange fetishes, but I think, I mean, it's not defamatory because he's dead, but it's probably not very respectful and almost certainly not true.
I've certainly not come across anything like that. I mean, my research has been focused on Andrew and Sarah.
What do you believe really happened to Epstein regarding his death?
Well, in the book, I say that, it is pretty mysterious. I mean, we've got the cameras not working. We've got the 2 guards falling asleep at exactly the same time. We've got the roommate that's moved out when he was on suicide watch. We've got the Michael Baden, the coroner, doing an independent autopsy and saying this looks more like homicide than suicide. I saw there was a piece yesterday with someone who served in that correctional facility saying it's impossible to commit suicide. They make it impossible for you with the sheets and the heights and all these other things. I think one of the most striking bits of testimony is Spencer Cooven, who was one of the attorneys for the victims. And he says, and this is a serious person, Epstein, had got away with everything so far. It was only at the beginning of the whole legal process. He thought he could buy his way out. He was certainly not in a suicidal mood. I mean, he was meeting with his lawyers. He was planning the way he was going to get out of this. This isn't a sign of someone who was going to commit suicide. And we now have, unexplained pictures of people in the orange jumpsuit being seen in the stairway coming up that evening. The American government put out footage which they claimed shown there was nobody there, and then it's revealed that they cut some minutes from the footage. It's not even a picture of his cell door. And so you begin to think, well, what are they covering up? And indeed, one of Epstein's employees has told one of my key sources for the book, in fact, the person who interviewed Epstein, a documentary maker, that Epstein had fallen out with Trump. He'd thought that Trump would pardon him, and he wasn't going to, and Epstein was going to spill the beans on him. And the line is that, shall we say, Trump said, "Who will rid me of this turbulent priest?"
Wow. That's quite literary for Trump to say.
Well, I don't know if he said those exact words, but that's
Words to
what
that
that's what I've been told.
Gosh.
And he was president at the time. We've got to be careful with Trump. He's highly litigious, and that's how he's a bully, and he uses the law to try and suppress information about him.
I see. 91% watching Heretics clips are not subscribed. Quick favor, hit subscribe. Free, takes 2 seconds, and helps us question everything together.